Hi, I'm James. Today I'm going to tell you my story. But before I continue, please like, share, and subscribe to hear more stories like this. When you spend years building something from nothing, watching it crumble can break you. 3 years of late nights, networking events, and relationship building, gone in just 3 weeks, all because my father couldn't stand to see me succeed where he had failed. Dad always had this way of making everything about him, I said to Michelle as we sat in our apartment surrounded by boxes. The lease was up in 2 weeks and I couldn't afford the rent anymore. James, I still don't understand why he would do this to you. Parents are supposed to support their children, not sabotage them, Michelle replied, reaching for my hand. You've met Gerald. He's never been the supportive type. Remember that baseball trophy I showed you? He told me I didn't deserve it because the pitcher went easy on me. But calling all your clients? That's beyond unsupportive. That's malicious. I nodded, remembering how it all started. Just a month ago, my consulting business was thriving. I had 15 regular clients paying premium rates for my expertise in digital marketing strategy. The business I'd built from scratch after college was finally taking off. I should have known something was wrong when Craig called to check in about our contract, I told Michelle. What exactly did he say? He was weird about it, like, "Hey James, just wanted to confirm some things about our arrangement. Your father mentioned some concerns." And you didn't think that was strange at the time? I figured Dad had bumped into him somewhere and made some offhand comment. You know how they both golf at Pine Ridge? My phone buzzed. It was Richard, my mentor and occasional business partner. James, got a minute? Richard's voice sounded strained. Sure, what's up? Listen, I've been hearing things. Vance McKinley canceled his contract with you, right? Yeah, said he was going with another agency. Why? Because he just called me asking if I knew about your gambling problem and whether the rumors about you using client funds were true. The room seemed to spin. What? I don't even gamble. I know that, but someone's been telling clients you do, and that you're unreliable, miss deadlines, and fabricate results. Who would? And then it hit me. My father, it has to be. After hanging up, I explained everything to Michelle. That can't be a coincidence, she said. First Craig, then Vance. Do you think your father is deliberately sabotaging you? I need to find out for sure. The next day, Sarah, one of my oldest clients, called. James, I need to tell you something, and it's going to sound crazy. What is it, Sarah? Your father called me yesterday. He said he felt morally obligated to warn me about working with you. He said you were facing potential fraud charges and that clients should terminate contracts immediately to avoid being implicated. My hands shook as I gripped the phone. Did he say anything else? He mentioned something about you stealing his business ideas and clients. Said you'd done it before and would do it again. James, I've known you for 3 years. I know it's not true, but some of your other clients might not. Sarah, thank you for telling me. Did he call from his cell? No, it was a number I didn't recognize. Can you remember anything else he said? Any specific accusations? He went into detail, James. Said you'd manipulated data on your marketing reports to make results look better than they were. He claimed you'd done it with his business partners years ago, which is how you stole your initial clients. That's completely fabricated. I built my client list from scratch, networking at industry events. I know, James. That's why I called instead of just terminating our contract, but he was convincing. Someone who doesn't know you might believe him. After we hung up, I paced the apartment, my mind racing. Michelle, this is worse than I thought. He's not just making vague accusations, he's creating detailed, believable lies. How would he even know enough about your business to make those claims? Remember last Christmas? I was talking about my strategies, showing Mom some of my campaign results. He was in the room, barely paying attention, or so I thought. He was gathering ammunition, Michelle said quietly. Over the next week, 8 more clients canceled. Each gave vague excuses, but I knew. My father was systematically destroying everything I'd built. I called my childhood friend Daniel, who worked in IT. Danny, I need your help. Someone's using a burner phone to call my clients. Can you help me trace it? That depends. Who do you think it is? My father. Silence. Daniel knew my complicated history with Gerald. James, are you sure that's... I'm sure. Sarah told me he called her directly. Okay, here's what we'll do. I'll set up a system to trace any calls to your remaining clients. If someone's using a burner, they'll likely call from the same area. We can narrow it down. Is that legal? I asked. It's a gray area, Daniel admitted. But we're not recording calls or intercepting communications, just tracking metadata. Besides, what he's doing is definitely illegal. I appreciate this, man. I don't know what I'd do without friends like you right now. That's what friends do. Remember when Brad Thompson spread those rumors about me in high school? You were the only one who stood up for me. 2 days later, Daniel confirmed what I already knew. All the calls were coming from my father's neighborhood. 3 more clients canceled that week. I need to confront him, I told Michelle. Is that smart? He's clearly trying to hurt you. What choice do I have? At this rate, I'll be completely out of business by next week. Just be careful, she warned. He's shown how far he's willing to go. Don't underestimate him. I know exactly who I'm dealing with, Michelle. I've had 30 years of experience. I drove to my father's house rehearsing what I'd say. When he opened the door, his smug expression told me everything. James, surprised to see you. Business slow these days? I forced myself to stay calm. Cut the act, Dad. I know what you've been doing. He leaned against the doorframe. And what exactly am I doing? Calling my clients, spreading lies about me, destroying my business? He laughed. Prove it. Sarah told me you called her directly. His smile faltered for a second. Sarah who? I talk to a lot of people. Why are you doing this? Maybe you're just not cut out for business, son. Not everyone has what it takes. Like you? Remind me how your business ended? Oh, right, bankruptcy after you drove it into the ground. His face darkened. Get off my property. You couldn't stand that I was succeeding where you failed, could you? You think you're so smart, James? You wouldn't have any of those clients if it weren't for my connections in the first place. What connections? You're delusional. I built this from nothing, which is exactly what you left me with. I gave you everything. A roof over your head, food on the table. The bare minimum required by law, Dad. That's not something to brag about. He stepped toward me, fists clenched. You've always been ungrateful, just like your mother. Leave Mom out of this. This is between you and me. Everything was fine until you started that business, competing against people I know. So that's it. You're embarrassed that your son might outshine you with your old business associates. Get out, he hissed, before I call the police. Gladly, but this isn't over. Back home, I found Michelle talking to Richard. James, we've been thinking, Richard said. Your father's actions, they're not just unethical, they could be illegal. It's defamation, tortious interference. I need proof, Richard, solid proof. I might have an idea, Michelle said. What if we set a trap? We spent the night planning. Michelle's idea was simple but brilliant. We'd create a fake potential client, a big one, and leak information about the meeting to my father. If he interfered, we'd have proof. Richard played the role of the wealthy client. We created business cards, a website, even a LinkedIn profile. Everything looked legitimate. Then I called my mother, who still lived with my father, though they barely spoke. Mom, I can't talk long, but I wanted to share some good news. I'm meeting with the CEO of Artemis Holdings next week. Could be the biggest contract of my career. Oh, James, that's wonderful. Just don't mention it to Dad, okay? You know how he gets. Honey, is everything all right between you two? He's been acting strange lately. Very secretive with his phone. Everything's fine, Mom, just a little professional rivalry. James, you know I support you. I'm so proud of what you've built. Those words meant everything to me. Thanks, Mom. That means a lot. 2 days later, Robert Jenkins of Artemis Holdings received a call. Mr. Jenkins, this is Gerald Wilson. I understand you're considering working with my son, James? Richard, playing Jenkins, recorded everything. Yes, we have a meeting scheduled. Why do you ask? As his father, I feel obligated to warn you. James has a history of misrepresenting his abilities. Several of his clients are considering legal action for fraudulent practices. That's concerning. Can you elaborate? His marketing reports are fabricated. The ROI figures, complete fiction. And there's his gambling problem. He's been known to use client retainers to cover personal debts. These are serious allegations, Mr. Wilson. Do you have any evidence to support these claims? Evidence? I'm his father. I've watched this pattern for years. Ask around. There's a reason his client list is shrinking. For 15 minutes, my father spewed lies about me. Richard got it all. When we played the recording for Michelle and Daniel, Michelle had tears in her eyes. I knew he was sabotaging you, but hearing it, James, I'm so sorry. Daniel was more practical. This is solid evidence. What's your next move? I thought about it. We confront him with backup. The next day, Richard, Michelle, Daniel, and I went to my father's house. My mother answered the door, surprised to see us all. James? What's going on? We need to talk to Dad. She called him, and when he saw us, his face hardened. What's this, an intervention? I played the recording. As his own voice filled the room, his face went from defiant to cornered. "You recorded me? That's illegal." "Actually," Daniel said, "Pennsylvania is a one-party consent state for recordings, completely legal." "What do you want?" my father asked, voice low. "First, you're going to call every client you spoke to and retract everything you said. Second, you're going to write a formal apology that I can share with my clients." "Or what?" "Or I sue you for defamation and tortious interference. Richard's brother is a lawyer. He says we have an airtight case." My mother spoke up. "Gerald, what have you done?" He ignored her. "This is ridiculous. I was protecting potential clients from—" "From what?" I interrupted. "From your own son succeeding where you failed? Do you hate me that much?" For a moment, I saw something in his eyes, not remorse, but fear, the fear of being exposed. "Fine," he muttered. "I'll make the calls." Over the next week, he contacted every client he'd spoken to. Some agreed to hear me out, others didn't. My business was still in tatters, but at least the sabotage had stopped. "It's not enough," I told Michelle one night. "He nearly destroyed my life, and all he got was a slap on the wrist. What more can you do?" I thought about it. Nothing illegal, but he deserves some consequences. I called Sarah, who happened to be on the board of the local business association where my father was trying to rebuild his connections. "Sarah, remember how my father called you with lies about me? Of course, I'm still angry about that. Would you be willing to share that experience with the Business Association Board? He's applying for membership." "Absolutely. That kind of behavior has no place in our community." "Thank you, Sarah. Not just for this, but for believing in me when others didn't. James, your work speaks for itself. I'm just sorry others couldn't see past the lies." Next, I called my mother. "Mom, there's something you should know. Dad didn't just call my clients. He told them I had a gambling addiction and was misappropriating funds." "James, I had no idea it was that bad. I knew he was jealous of your success, but this— I thought you should know who you're married to." "I'm so sorry, honey. All these years I made excuses for him. I thought he'd change." "People like Dad don't change, Mom. They just get better at hiding who they really are." 3 weeks later, my father was denied membership to the Business Association. A month after that, my mother moved out and filed for divorce. His reputation in the business community was in shambles. Meanwhile, with Richard's help, I began rebuilding. We formed a partnership, combining our client bases. Some of my former clients returned after hearing the truth. "I can't believe how quickly we're growing," Richard said during a strategy meeting. "Your approach to the Henley campaign was brilliant. I'm just glad to have clients who trust us again, after everything that happened." "James, you survived the worst kind of betrayal. Most people would have given up." "I came close," I admitted. "If it weren't for you, Michelle, and the others, that's what separates the winners from the losers. Winners have people who believe in them." 6 months later, Michelle and I were having dinner when my phone rang. It was my father. "James, we need to talk. I've been thinking about what happened." "There's nothing to talk about." "Son, I'm sorry. I was wrong. Can we meet? I want to apologize properly." I thought about all the nights I'd lain awake, watching my dreams crumble, all because of his petty jealousy. "No, Dad, we can't. James, please, I'm your father." "Not anymore. You lost that right when you tried to destroy me. Don't call again." I hung up and looked at Michelle. He wanted to apologize. And some things can't be forgiven. She squeezed my hand. "Are you okay?" I thought about it. My business was growing again. I had Michelle, Richard, and friends who stood by me. My father had nothing. "Yeah," I said, "I think I am." Today, our agency is more successful than I could have imagined. We moved into a new office last month, and Richard and I are talking about expanding to Chicago. As for my father, last I heard he was working part-time at a hardware store, living alone in a small apartment. His actions had consequences after all. I sometimes wonder if I should have given him a chance to apologize. But then I remember those 3 weeks when my world collapsed, and I know I made the right choice. Some bridges, once burned, should stay that way. So let me ask you this. If someone deliberately tried to destroy everything you worked for, could you ever forgive them, even if they were family? What would it take for you to consider letting them back into your life?